Well, good morning and welcome back to CityLine. If you got to tune in on our last segment, you heard me divulge who is going to be on the comfy couch here. And if you were quick enough to see this person in the wide shot, then you know who I'm talking about. The one, the only, Andrea Ray, who is the president and CEO of Tacoma-Pierce County Chamber. Welcome. And before we get into why you're here, oh my gosh, thank you for filling in for me last week. You did an amazing job. And you know what? And I will take you up on your offer of being CEO of the Chamber for a day. That would be kind of fun, I think.
Well, it is fun, and I think it's only fair. I have to say, I feel more comfortable in this in this chair than that chair. So you make it look easy, Amanda. Oh. It is not easy.
Well, from one fellow opera singer to another, we have our tricks, don't we?
We do. There's a few up our sleeves.
That's right, just a few. You know, I can remember when the Chamber did not look like this. I can remember 20 years ago when the Chamber looked more like a gathering of IBM executives plotting out the next downtown economic forecast. And that's fine, but wow, have things changed now for our Chamber, and I am so glad. When we think about horizons, and the Chamber is there as a measurement of how we are doing in our community. What is Horizons, and why does the Chamber host this every single year? What does it give us?
It's data, right?
Yes.
And so when we are a data-driven, fact-driven organization, and we know that when we can share data, we can share information and facts with our business community, that helps them make better decisions.
Yes.
More information makes businesses able to create better plans and plot out the course for the future, right? So we know business thrives in predictability and certainty.
Yep.
Look, there's a lot of predictability and uncertainty in our world, and especially within our economy. But when we're able to give some benchmarks, we're able to give some data points, we're able to, put some markers along the way to help our businesses navigate some of that uncertainty, we will have a stronger, more thriving business community because we'll have more information, we'll have more data, we'll be making better decisions collectively together as a community.
Absolutely. Oh, well said, my dear. As we think about the Chamber, I mean, the Chamber comes alongside business owners, and they are that silent partner, that person, that entity, that resource that comes in and says, you're doing a great job. Here are some things to think about within your sector of where your business is, and this is how we can help you. Is that how the Economic Forecast Breakfast came to be such a herald event as it is?
Yeah, absolutely. It's about sharing that data, and it's about sharing that data that's important, to every business owner. Like you said, whether it's an IBM executive,
yep,
or whether it's a micro business owner, in a home incubation, business. We care about the same things. We care about what's happening with interest rates, how are we going to be able to access capital, what's happening with workforce, right? What's going to happen with unemployment. All of these drivers, no matter, how big or how small your business is, these are things that impact every business owner. And so getting that information, helping, businesses be able to navigate that, and then also access those resources and services that they need, to make those good decisions and then execute, is huge. So again, it's not just here's some information, good luck.
Yeah.
Right? It's here's some information, and then here's, an opportunity and some resources and some services to help you make the best use of that information, specifically tailored to you and your business, and not just you and your business that's industry specific, but what are your goals? Right?
There we go.
And how are you growing? How are you thriving? Do you want to add more people? Do you want to add a new location? How do we really help you grow grow and take that step and really walk businesses through, the whole process of, small micro business to medium-sized business and then to legacy business. Because that bridge, when businesses are taking that leap, that's a really scary moment, for
yes.
a lot of business owners. And we're there to say, you're not alone. We're gonna help you build that bridge to take the next step.
So one of the ingredients of taking that next step that the Chamber does so well is, for instance, this breakfast that's coming up would have happened in 2023, and you would have talked about things that you saw in 2022, and then you would have kind of laid out what to expect for 2023. And now as this breakfast comes up for 2024, you're recapping what you already said would happen, making sure how did it happen, and then what else is going to happen. I don't know any other breakfast that does it like you guys do it. So when we think about 2023 in review, what do you sit here knowing to be true?
Good question. I think that going back in time, if we were sitting here last year, remember it's all of the coming back to business. So,
Yes.
We were post-COVID, record high inflation, most of the economists, you're watching the evening news, it's recession, inflation, a lot of doom and gloom.
That's right.
Our breakfast last year said, hey, not so fast.
Yay.
Right? We have a lot more to be optimistic about when we look forward to our economy in 2023 than we have to be pessimistic about. And so we talked about how there would be essentially an economic reset. We wouldn't see a lot of growth, but we wouldn't see a lot of decline. We did forecast a very mild recession. We thought there would be a very mild recession. And then we also said that there would be kind of a reset of the workforce. So again, remember, it was very much a workers' economy.
Yes.
For every job that was open, there would be maybe one or two applicants, right? It was just really, really tough. And we said that would get better. There would be a stabilization in the workforce. So we didn't hit the recession. We didn't even have, that really mild recession, mostly because the labor market stayed so robust.
Yes.
And consumer spending is so robust, right? So that helped offset what that could be. I think, again, as we look forward to, 2024, I think we're going to continue to see that stabilization in the workforce market. We're going to see the reduction, in inflation, which will hopefully, allow for a little bit more, lending and, capital access.
Yes.
So there's a lot to look forward to. And yes, pictures of the breakfast.
Here's said breakfast that we all are going
500 of your closest friends.
That's right, who are trying to be as successful as they can and want you rowing with them. So when we think about forecasting forward, what can we look forward to in this year, Andrea?
Yeah, again, I think it's the stabilization of the workforce market. I am so proud of our business community and that they have really come together creatively with skills-based hiring. So that is an amazing opportunity to create more equity in the workplace. So rather than just saying like, oh, I'm looking at this application, we require a 4-year degree. Number one, why? Right? Is it really necessary for this particular job? And then can we look at other applicable skill sets?
Thank you.
And then do the skills-based hiring. And so what we've seen with skills-based hiring is we're seeing a more stabilization of the workforce market. We're seeing more equity,
Right.
and we're welcoming people back to the workforce that maybe haven't been here in a while, and not just post-COVID, but even pre-COVID. So I'm excited about seeing that trend continue to grow, because that's going to not only help our businesses thrive, but create more economic equity in our neighborhoods as well.
You bring up such a great point, because there was this during COVID, and remember the phrase silent resignation?
Yes. Yes.
Where people were
Yes.
like, "Gosh, I'm
Quiet
going to work from my
quitting,
home."
all of it.
All
Yes,
of it.
all of it.
And now we are hearing that we don't have enough hands in the workforce, and that there aren't enough people to keep a department open or a small mom and pop open because the cost of operating is so high. How can how can businesses get involved in the advocacy work in this last 2 minutes that we have?
Yeah, absolutely. So advocacy is a huge piece of what we focus on. We know that to create a thriving, vibrant community, we need thriving, vibrant businesses, and that means that we need an ecosystem that allows businesses to thrive, which comes into our advocacy work. There are so many ways to participate and get engaged with our advocacy work. We have a government affairs committee that meets the second Friday of every month. We have our legislative day in Olympia, which is our hill climb, February 15th, where we'll meet with lawmakers. April 15th, we go to the other Washington for our Wattawa conference. And so we're very focused on, federal, state, local issues, because we know that that exchange and that interconnectedness of how our federal, state, and local policies, impact our communities is huge. And so we want to be able to have that perspective and help navigate that, and then also advocate, to create that strong ecosystem for businesses to thrive and communities to thrive. Because these are not mutually exclusive ideas.
No, and they better not ever be, because that's when we get that disconnect, when we go, what are we doing right now? The chamber is available for people to join. Can they volunteer at the chamber?
Absolutely.
We have lots of things to keep them busy.
Lots of things to keep you busy. Yeah, no shortage of opportunities to, connect and engage and serve.
So I have a tricky question for you. Can you stick around maybe for the next segment? Because I'm wondering if we could maybe do the top 10 highlights of 2023 with the Tacoma-Pierce County Chamber. And I'll see if I can find my David Letterman throwing cards.
Awesome, sounds good.
Because you have so much to talk about in terms of accomplishments, but also steering and looking back. So stick around. We get Andrea for another segment, so don't go away. We'll be right back.